Hey everybody, it's Stacy from Kzoo Keto, and I am remaking the Clover Pull Apart rolls. In addition to that, I'm also going to do a quick video on how to make those crackers that we talked about our friends bringing over that are, I believe they're 1 net carb per serving, and they're made with just Parmesan cheese and almond flour. And look, I actually have the almond flour out this time. I got it out before anything else. So let's do this. Look at this, they look so much better. They actually look kind of fluffy and the dough is sticky. Let's get these in the oven. We did opt to put the butter on them again just to see if that'll help make them a little flakier. We're gonna put them in the oven, we'll see how they turn out. Let's get to the crackers. Now these are unusual because you make these in the microwave rather than in the oven. Microwaving makes them crispier, and they only need almond flour and fresh grated Parmesan cheese. This part might take a little extra, but luckily we recently purchased a cheese grater that hooks up to our mixer. So let's work on that. Got this loaded up with some Parmesan cheese. Let's see how it does. I'm a little nervous to do this. I've only ever used this once before, and that was to shred zucchini. Helps if you plug it in. Okay, ended up with way more than half a cup. So we'll just put that away and use it for something else. I forgot to mention this recipe comes from Joe Duff. This is not my recipe. It is at thedietchef.com, or you can find him on YouTube. But that said, it does call for a food processor. As we've stated in a previous video, the bowl to our food processor is not working correctly, so I'm going to use the blender. And I'm going to put half a cup of the shredded, grated Parmesan cheese in there. You can also do that with a hand grater. Just takes a little longer. And the other ingredient is the almond flour. Almond, not coconut. And that's another half a cup. Throw it in there with it. Hey, look at those. They're golden and they rose a little bit. Not as much as I thought they would, but they look more like the picture on the recipe. Can't wait to bust into them. Once you get them in your food processor, you're going to pulse them a couple of times. That gets everything combined. Then if you take it off and do this, it combines it even more. Then it says to add 1 to 2 teaspoons of water to your mixture here, starting out with 1 teaspoon at a time. And you're going to do that until little tiny pellets of dough starts to form. According to the recipe, the amount of water that you use depends on how much moisture there is in the cheese. I scraped down my sides a little bit, and we're going to pulse it some more. Right, they've cooled off slightly, so Greg's going to be the first guinea pig to try the properly
Well, they don't look nearly as dry as the last one.
They're pretty good. Are they done?
Mm-hmm. Very moist. Very good.
They're really hot.
They're very hot. But they're very good. I'm gonna eat it with my soup.
Yeah, they are good. Yay! It worked! Once you have it all mixed, you're going to pour it into a bowl. And then you're going to take about half of the mixture and put it on your plate. Not your plate, your parchment paper. We're going to kind of squish that together so that it sticks together a little bit more. Then you put your other parchment paper on top, flatten it out, and then you use a rolling pin to roll it out till it's pretty much translucent. I can see the countertop speckles through it, so I'm going to say that's translucent. Once you get it rolled out, you're going to use a pizza cutter and cut it into squares. I can't see my cut. Now this recipe is not the same one that our friend used. Her crackers were circular. But this is the one that we found, and it looks interesting, which is why we're using it. And then we take a toothpick and put a hole in the center of each one. Cut away the extra parchment paper, because you're going to cook it right on the parchment paper. Now he says you're supposed to get 100 crackers. I'm not real sure how he's coming up with 100 crackers. But either way, a quarter of this entire recipe is one serving, and it's one net carb. And then you put it on a plate. This is bigger than any plates that we have. And you're supposed to offset it. So you do 2 1-minute intervals in the microwave on high, and you're supposed to offset it. So for one interval, you put the plate off to the left, the other one you put it off to the right. I'm going to try this. We have a rack in our microwave. I'm going to try it right in the middle of the rack on the microwave, because this isn't going to fit on a plate, and it's not going to turn on the rotator very well. Here's the first batch. I might have made them a little too thin. Some of them are a little burnt. You're supposed to let them sit for 5 to 10 minutes on that, and then they'll be done. So we're going to work on the second batch. I'm going to try not to roll them out as thin this time. I didn't roll these as thin. I can still sort of see the speckles from the counter through it. So we're going to try these and see how it works out. Since I didn't roll these out as thin, it doesn't seem to make, or it makes even less. So I cut them a little smaller than I did the first ones. So let's get these cut out and let's see how they work. Putting it on the rack in the microwave seemed to work fine for me. All I did was I offset it like it said in the recipe. So I pushed it to one side for 1 minute, and then I pulled it to the other side for the other minute. I'm thinking there might be an importance to making it rotate, because these burnt a little bit too. But we're going to let them all cool, and then we'll come back and try them. You're supposed to let these cool for 5 to 10 minutes, and as they cool, they will crisp up, and that's exactly what they have done. It's kind of interesting because when they're cooling, they kind of make this snap, crackle, pop noise while they're sitting there. Taste test time.
Crispy.
Definitely crispy.
Tastes good.
They taste good. Don't eat the burnt ones though.
Yeah, those aren't any good.
I can't imagine those are going to taste any good. But all right,
I like the bigger size ones though.
Here, have a burnt piece. Odie, stop.
Yeah, these are tasty.
Yeah, definitely make them again. So we have the crackers, which ended up being nice and crispy. I don't think you could kind of, at least not this batch, you couldn't put them in a dip.
Yeah, you could take the dip and put it on top of it though.
This batch, they're a little more sturdy.
Yeah, a little stronger.
I still don't think you could dip with them though. But you can definitely eat them with dip.
Yeah.
So we have those?
You can definitely make them thicker.
And we
Reduce
have
the number,
these.
but yeah, those are good.
If you make them thicker, you'd probably have to cook them a little longer. And you might want to...
Or maybe they wouldn't burn.
Well, I don't know that. I think it's something that we can definitely play around with.
Yeah.
In making them thicker and trying different settings in the microwave. But this stuff turned out well, and these will be good for Thanksgiving for
Cheese.
appetizers, like before dinner's ready.
Yeah, like cheeses and meats and stuff.
And I really could sit here and eat this entire thing.
You probably will.
So that's it for this video. I'm going to have to amend my earlier statement in previous videos way back when this series started that I was going to have 2 desserts. I don't think I'm going to have time to do 2 desserts and get it out for you guys. So I'm just going to focus on 1 dessert, and we'll get that out for you tomorrow. In the meantime, thanks for watching.
Thanks for subscribing.
And stay keto.
See you guys.